It's the Morning Sports Report here on TribLIVE Radio. Ken Laird, Guy Junker, Chris Adamski in for a special quarterback edition of the Cash and Culture Pop Culture Retro Gaming Headquarters Morning Sports Report. Let me ask you guys this question. Closer to 100% chance Ben Roethlisberger is the quarterback of the Steelers next year, or Brian Hoyer is the quarterback of the Browns next year? Guy, let's start with you on this one.
I still think that Ben Roethlisberger is quarterback of the Steelers, only because there's no Johnny Manziel waiting in the wings here. I mean, the time may come to cut ties. That's possible, but I think the Browns already have the guy in place that will eventually. I think a lot of people there, they're enjoying their ride, but I get this feeling they're kind of waiting for him to stumble so Manziel can take over.
Interesting in the last 24 hours, Chris, the reports, Jason Cole of Yahoo basically saying Hoyer's not going to sign a long-term deal with the Browns if Manziel's still there. Now, Hoyer's agent refutes that, but Hoyer wouldn't answer those questions a couple of days ago when he was asked directly. And basically, Ed Werder of ESPN says the Browns aren't interested in negotiating. His contract's up at the end of the year. He's led them to a 3-2 start. He led them to a 3-0 start last year. How much money and when would you pay Brian Hoyer?
Yeah, it's one of these. If you remember, the Chargers had a similar situation with Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers a few years back. Now, where this comparison ends is, with all due respect to Brian Hoyer, and I think he's been a surprise, and I think he is, one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world. So he'll be a starting quarterback in the NFL at this point. I don't think he's going to be Drew Brees. I don't think the Browns are going to kick themselves like the Chargers could be. Yeah, but again, the Chargers had ended up with a decent. I don't know if you can assume that Johnny Manziel is going to have the career Phillip Rivers does. Not that Phillip Rivers is the best quarterback in the league, but you got to be happy with him as a franchise quarterback. I think a top 10 type quarterback in the league. So to answer your original question, Ken, I still think, let's face it, Manziel's going to get his chance in Cleveland. That's what makes it so difficult to navigate if you're the Browns, because it's hard to really draft him and then not even give him a chance. Do you keep him as a backup for multiple years? Do you trade him next year? And I guess they've proven already, although they've been under I don't know how many management groups that was a year for them, even though it was only about a year and a half ago or whatever it was that they traded Trent Richardson, a high draft pick, a high skill position player, and gave up on him early and got a first round pick for him. I guess there's always somebody out there, Raiders, who would give up a number 1 overall pick or something like that for Johnny Manziel, given the chance. So I guess they could do it. But just because of the fact that the Steelers don't have any other turn. It ain't going to be Landry Jones next year, and it ain't going to be Bruce Gradkowski, all due respect. So I can't see them going out anywhere else. I mean, I could, I guess, but that seems to be quite a shakeup. So certainly I'll go with Roethlisberger over Hoyer.
Couldn't you just see, Ken, the Browns? Well, I'm not going to go as far as say is win the division, but they get a wild card playoff spot. Hoyer, they go crazy. The best season in Cleveland history since they come back in the league, and then Hoyer leaves, and Manziel takes over next year, and they start like 1-5. I could see that happening as plain as the writing on this book right here.
But that would be crushing him. He's a Cleveland kid, and of course, he's doing this without a receiving core really to speak of. I agree with you guys that it seems like the Steelers don't have an heir apparent, but if somebody dangled 2 first-round picks out there for you, Ben's 32, he's not like he's 37, 38, I think there'd be some takers for sure around the league.
Sure. I don't think it's a done deal. You asked which one. I don't think there's, I think there's a gray area with both scenarios. But at least the Browns have a plan. Like I said, they have a plan, and I think they're not going to have the organization look bad for drafting the guy. We all know that number 1 picks get more of a chance than number 5 picks, and number 5 picks get more of a chance than undrafted free agents. So, they'd look silly if Hoyer becomes the starter for the next 4 years and they're stuck with him on the bench. That would be a bad reflection on the team. So, like I said, they're not hoping that something happens, but the chances of Hoyer getting through the entire year without getting hurt are probably slim. And if he does stumble and they start to lose, it would open up the door to put Manziel in.
Now, Ken, I thought you were going to go with it a different direction when you start asking that question. And let me say this, preface it first: is they're still only 3-3. They're not 1-5. They're not 0-6. They're not even 2-4. They're still only 3-3. And I understand that they look bad.
They're 19-19. Let's put it that way.
Well, that brings up the point. I mean, they could still win 4 of the next 5 and then be in good shape to make the playoff run here. But I see where you're going with it, and I get that they've only played 6 good quarters probably all year long through 6 games, and somehow they find themselves at 3-3. That's the incredible part. They could be freaking 4-2 right now and only played 6 good quarters all season long. If Lewis Murphy dropped that pass or whatever it is, Tampa Bay doesn't make a play there at the end. They could have easily won that game despite not really deserving to, and be 4-2 only playing 6 good quarters. I don't know if we're still having this discussion then or not. I guess when you get your butt kicked by Cleveland, you have this discussion no matter what. But I thought you were going to go, when you started saying that question, better than 100% chance who's back, Ben Roethlisberger. I thought you were going to go Mike Tomlin or go that way. But I think they have to be almost tied together. If you're making the decision to trade your franchise quarterback, I think at that point you're doing something that, and I don't know if it's a bad decision or not, but it's something the Steelers haven't traditionally done, and you're pretty much blowing things up at that point. You're going, and you got to think Tomlin's gone, maybe Colbert's gone. I don't know what they do, but certainly the veterans are probably gone anyway. Guys like Kiesel and Ike Taylor and Polamalu. If you make the decision to trade Ben Roethlisberger, I don't care what you get back for him. It's a seminal moment in franchise where you are just going and you're stripping it all the way down, and you're almost hoping.
Pointing to the future.
Yeah.
I think that the question that would interest me, Ken, is what are the chances that Ben Roethlisberger and Todd Haley return together? Then that would be below 50%, in my opinion.